Hi guys, how you doing? It's very lovely to have you here again. I will be speaking today about charging your worth in your spiritual business or entrepreneurship projects or anything you're pursuing at this point. So, charging your worth. This is very important because you need to feel your energetic side needs to be in sync with that price which you're charging the public, because that's going to be felt, and that is going to have a great influence about how people see you, how people perceive you, and how do you feel about what you're doing. So, first of all, if it's a new craft that you're just starting to master, do it for free for a little bit. Start getting the hang of it, start getting really good at it, put some effort in it, and really try to test it a lot. Like, figure it out, figure what works better, which words you need to use in your marketing. Start really paying attention to this product and how it is actually contributing to the society around you, right? Once you go over that free moment there that you're giving it for free, then pass on into feeling or testing how your energy feels when you're charging different prices. So you can get 3 subjects, maybe 3 friends to help you. Maybe it can be a fixed scenario, or it can be like an actual thing in which you charge 3 persons a different rate. Maybe you can set the highest rate which you will feel comfortable, even if it feels a little scary. This is the highest price I feel comfortable right now. This is the medium price I feel comfortable right now, and this is the lowest fee that I would charge for this, and I feel a little resentful with it, with that price. So having these 3 points of reference, it will help you to monitor your energy in that transaction and that energy exchange every time it happens. So if you are charging a price that is way too low, and you're starting to do it regularly, and you're putting a lot of effort into it, and you're setting your intentions and having great energy when you do the things you're doing, if it's like a therapy or if it's like a yoga class or something like that, if you really feel like you're giving a lot more than it's being given in return, that energy is going to create a little resentment. That exchange is going to create a little resentment. And that resentment might be unconscious at first, but then it will start building up, and you will start feeling like what you're doing is not being appreciated, or you start feeling a little imbalance somehow. So make sure to test different options and see what you feel comfortable at the moment. Another thing that is very important is make sure that if you're not charging your highest price, you're well informed. Why are you not really charging the price? Is it because you're afraid? What is it that you're afraid of? Is it because you think people are going to judge you? What makes you uncomfortable enough to prevent you from receiving that price, that high price for the craft that you're doing at this point? So if you feel like people will judge you and see you or perceive you as non-spiritual or as egotistical or as high up in the horse or whatever, really take a look of that. Take a little insight about everything that you're experiencing, because in exchange I will give you some wisdom to counteract those fears that you're experiencing, which are very common. Everybody has those thoughts at the beginning of the process of pricing a little higher for their craft. So first of all, know that it is scientifically proven that the higher the price, the higher the commitment from the person for any product. So for example, if it's a product, a physical product, and you go, for example, let's say shoes, you want to buy some really nice shoes, it's gonna be your wedding, so they're important. Will you choose the expensive ones, which are really pretty and seem to be really good, they're not gonna get broken or anything, or will you choose the really cheap ones because they're cheap and you're spending so much on your wedding that you want to keep it cheap? You will probably go with the good ones because it's an important moment for you and you don't want them to break in the middle of the ceremony, for example. That is a very different example. But if, for example, you for example if you have a different kind of product, it's not physical, it's more like a therapy or like a class, which is what I'm using as a reference. If people get them at a very low price, they will not value them as much as if they were expensive. So these are the 2 scenarios that will start to happen. Let's say yoga classes. I am charging $5 for my yoga class because I want the light to spread into the world and I want everybody to be able to afford yoga. It's a nice intention, but this way of doing things might not be the smartest. Why? Because you will attract a ton of people, that's for sure. You'll have that class filled with people getting late, people not really paying attention to what you're saying, people who don't really value you as a teacher, people who are just looking for the lowest price for their yoga practice, people who don't value what you're offering. And in the other hand, if you were to charge $25 for that class, just because it's with you, and just because you know that your intention is pure and the space is beautiful, and you have everything you need to do to really create an experience for that person, make sure that even if you have less customers, the ones that you have will be so committed, they will be there early, they will make every single effort they can in every post because they want to make the most out of their money, right? So that's the difference. Even if you think that you're not doing them a favor by making it more expensive, you actually are, because they will take away so much more from that high price product than they would for the same product at a lower price, because they don't value it as much. If they need to make an effort for it, if they need to maybe arrange their finances to be able to pay for this, be sure that they will make every effort they can to make the most out of it, leading you into a successful product. Because they will make it successful, even more than like what you're offering in the first place. Even if it's a really, really good yoga class, if it has their effort in it as well, the changes and shifts will happen in a more profound level, because it has commitment in the recipe. So that is actually very important. And another thing I wanted to tell you about this subject is that these fears are very common. So if you feel like you're not good enough, if you feel like what you're doing is not good enough, or comparing yourself to others, it's very common. Everybody goes through that. But as soon as you realize that you need to jump and take the leap, and you want people to actually take you seriously, I will always suggest the highest point in which you feel comfortable charging. So if you feel comfortable charging $15 for a yoga class, but you would feel more happy, or you would feel more empowered if you could charge 30, charge 30. Just do it. Maybe at first it will be a little slow. Stick to it. Stick to your price. Honor your wisdom. Honor everything that you have gone through to be able to offer that product. And you will be rewarded, I promise. And be patient too. Patience always helps. Bye guys. Hope you have a wonderful day.